Mark and Fran Parnes, who were members here.
I don't know names, I know faces.
Yes.
How long ago was it? So I've been here for 100 years.
And
so-
at least 10 years. I would think.
Oh, I should remember them.
I don't remember.
Show me pictures.
from the end.
I think that's a wonderful idea. I will pass it through. And I just made a fascinating discovery. You can sing the Adona Lum to tunes from Guys and Dolls. Here it is. I built more garage once a grand, but we ain't got a grand on hand. Adona Lum Hashem Halon, the terrible you see in the front. Well, you get the
That's not a well-known thing from Guys and Dolls.
from your generation. You remember
Still,
Shabbat.
but no, that particular song is not a well-known.
But I was in it in camp. I was reading an article about Jewish camps. There you go.
Okay.
How are you, Lorraine?
Fine, Rabbi, how are you?
All right, all right. I'm feeling a little breeze on my neck. So, my Nana should rest in peace. She always felt a draft. You could put her in a solid concrete and steel room, and she would still feel a draft. So,
Don't remember them, what is it?
are we on?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just
No, don't
checking the
apologize.
volume.
Okay, I guess I could use a sitter.
I have to get some water.
Oh, and one more question. Is it sitter or sidur?
Sidor,
But you never grew up saying that. Come on.
no, consider,
Is it sitter?
Sitter,
yes.
Like babysitter?
yes.
Okay, well, Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos. The Torah portion is Shalach, which for Bamidbar is very good because it's got people, it's got drama, it's got conquering the land, it's got spies. Okay, spies. We were watching, what was that movie with Mark Wahlberg as a corrupt cop,
Oh, yeah,
and everybody's after him.
yeah.
Okay, the cops are after him, the mob is after him.
What's
Well,
that
just
got to do with spies?
because you put it in a biblical context, that could happen.
I don't get it.
Have you read about David?
Oh, thank you.
Not me, King David.
have, thank you.
Oh, I'll take one. I hear the rabbi is horrible, but everything else is very good.
Oh, stop.
Anyway, Paul, back to
Yes.
you. Yes. Now, what's it got to do with spies?
Yes.
Okay, you got spies, you got drama, you got intrigue, you got hatred of each other, distrust, suspicion. And you go to Marky Mark, you got all those things too. Hatred, distrust, you don't watch cop movies, do you?
No, but I do watch a lot of shows that deal with the homicide.
Oh, there you go.
It's more interesting.
It's not like homicide for fun and profit. It's not like you can do this.
Well, there are some really strange things. I'll tell you about it later.
Oh, okay, good. Very
Is
good.
Malcolm gone or he's gonna be here today?
I think he's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Is he gone?
He was here last week.
Yeah,
Well, they go to Tanglewood.
I think they're up in
Where's that?
Tanglewood.
Tanglewood is in Massachusetts. You sit in the woods on your deck chair or whatever it is, and you enjoy classical music.
Boston
Okay.
Symphony.
Got
Yes. It's only for the strong of us, Esther.
Actually, it's beautiful country.
I know.
Yeah.
I lived there for 22 years. And Aunt Beth let me back in the house. I'm sorry?
Well, my kids used to go to camp in West Stockbridge. And Stockbridge was really a nice little town, beautiful country.
Wait, is that the Stockbridge? Is that where Alice's restaurant took place?
Yeah,
You can get anything you want. It's so dated.
That would work for a Donald Lum too.
Yes, I don't know my shame.
and also, what's his name, that artist who did all the
Oh, Norman Rockwell.
Norman Rockwell. that had the
Yes, we got
Rockwell-
thrown out of the Rockwell Museum.
Yeah.
Jordan touched a painting. He was just a little kid.
Which one did he touch?
I think the one where the little girl is sitting outside the principal's office with
Oh,
a black eye.
That's a cute
Wow.
one.
Yeah, that is very cute. Our dean hung it outside his office. You get the idea what kind of person he is.
He never thought of himself as an artist. He always said he was an illustrator.
Yes, Saturday Evening Post. What happened to the Saturday Evening Post? I'm not getting it anymore.
That's not
I
Saturday.
keep sending them money and they don't send it.
Good luck.
Okay, very nice. I like this place. This is nice. It's handleable.
Hamish,
Yes. Moder 61. Moder Hadi Lefalem. Moder Hadi Lefalem. Shechazarta Binishmati Echela. Shechazarta Binishmati Echela. Shechazarta Binishmati Echela. Rabba Emunatecha. Let's bring it down. It's not an octave, is it? Okay. Octaves. Okay, moving along. Oh, incidentally, we are Mavorachan HaChodesh this Shabbos. We bless the new month. The new month is Tammuz, and it falls on Sunday. That's really all it does. It's not a big deal. And if you observe Yom Kippur Katan, you'll tell me what that is. I don't know what it is. Little Yom Kippur.
63.
When
It's
is that?
Thursday. It's either Monday or Thursday. Isn't that something? These are for Jews who are not sufficiently afflicted. So Yom Kippur
Okay.
Katan gives them a chance to semi-afflict themselves.
Well, I know in a couple weeks, we're gonna have Shabbat B'Tamuz.
Yes,
And then we're gonna have Tisha B'Av.
yes, very sad time, really.
The Shabbat is always in August.
Tisha B'Av, yes, Tisha B'Av is always in August.
July.
Oh, is it really?
So when, when it's not when it's right before a leap year, when everything gets really early, I think you can have Tisha B'Av at the end of July, but usually it's in August. I was always in camp.
I was too. Not the same one. Yes,
Well, no,
yes, I know.
My mother died on Tisha.
We had,
your mother died. Tisha B'Av?
oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
We were Moderdox. We were modern Orthodox. So the boys were over here and the girls were over there. And the mechitza, separating the boys and girls was, I think was the size of the Sinai Peninsula.
I went to all girls. There were no boys. Boys
Right.
were elsewhere,
Yes,
not anywhere near us.
yes, yes. Okay, they didn't even pass out pictures. Okay,
No, they were
Let's-
out in the back fields,
the what field?
the back field.
Oh, the back, I thought you said the bad field.
The boys from down the road and the
Yes,
girls from my camp, they were out in the back fields.
yes. What were the names of the camps?
I went to Camp Benos
Manos, that's good, daughters, women, girls.
and I went to one called Camp Tubby. It was Ticho Beis Yaakov. And they called it Camp Tubby. It
That's
was
very
not that
sweet.
camp. And I went to one called Camp Chedva.
Yes.
My brothers went to Camp Aguda.
Oh,
Camp Aguda and Camp Benos is the same organization.
yes.
They're in Liberty, New York, and we were where were we?
Monticello,
We were in Liberty, New York. They were somewhere else. I can't remember.
I was in South.
They were
Boston.
somewhere else, but somewhere in the back field of the girls' camps, the guys were coming,
Oh,
and the girls and the guys were,
yes, thank you.
Right.
Yes, Grace.
I said my kids went to Camp Vermont.
Oh, Ramah,
I
of
think I've
course.
heard of it. Vermont.
That's the jewel of the conservative movement.
Conservative.
Yes.
Before that, they went to Camp Sura,
Mhm,
which was from the Board of Jewish Education.
mhm.
They had that camp for a few years.
Very nice.
And I just went to Girl Scout
Oh.
camp for a weekend, but that's
Oh.
about it.
Yeah, we offered our then daughter, Girl Scout camp, and we took her and she did the tour, and she didn't like it because the toilets didn't flush.
Okay.
And just, never mind. You'll tell me later. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the Birchot HaShachar, page 65. Please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan asach bivino, lavchin ben yomu ve'en laila. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzalmo. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisroel. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorin. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, bokeach ivrim. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefuvim. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokaretz al hamayim. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa li kol tzarki. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, המכין לצדק גבר, אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, עושה ישראל בגבורה, אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, עושה ישראל בתפארה, אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אנוכי לאוהב כוח. Please be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavir shenameinoi, utnuma le'afapoi. Utenenu ayom b'chol yom l'cheinu l'chesed v'rachamim, Yinecho v'yinei korir v'tigmelenu chasadim tovim, Baruch atah Adonai, Omer chasadim tovim, Yamo Yisroel.
Amen.
And the bottom of 66. Shema Yisroel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod, Malchuto, Liolam Vahed. All right, we'll move to the devotional rabbinical texts. I'll tell a little Misa. And what I ask you, please, is halfway through the Misa, if you have already got it figured out, let me get to the end so everybody will be surprised. Because I never figure these things out.
Is this a math problem?
No, for me, you're not getting math problems. For me, you'd sooner get Shakespeare. I don't think he did them either. Okay, what happens is there's a Jewish man. He's very poor.
How
poor.
crazy.
He was so poor, but luckily he had a rich brother who loaned him some money, so he bought some merchandise, and he went and he sold, but he had no luck whatsoever. He was a shlemazel. What is the difference between a shlemiel and a shlemazel?
One spills it and the other one it falls on.
Very good. A shlemiel spills the hot soup on the head of the shlemazel. Very good, because he has no mazel. All right. On his way home, he could not go to Howard Johnson's because they weren't invented yet, although they're coming back. It's interesting. He couldn't stay at any other place, so he goes to this little rat trap inn, and he gets there a little late, and the innkeeper says, "I'm sorry, young man, it's a shame, but we just closed the kitchen. There's nothing on the premises for you to eat." And the poor man says, "I'm so hungry, you don't have anything." He says, wait, I think I have something for you. So he goes in the back and he gets him a hard-boiled egg. And he's so grateful, the poor man, that he's going to get a hard-boiled egg at least for supper. His hands are shaking while he's peeling it. And he drops it. And how does the innkeeper react? Does he say, "That's okay, Sonny, I'll get you another hard-boiled egg"? Or
30-second rule.
30-second rule.
30 seconds?
That's wow. They're generous.
Back then, time was
I
slower.
thought it was.
Yeah, that's
10
true. They're
seconds.
not clumsy.
It's 2 seconds.
That's right. And even then, it's not good. Okay, so the innkeeper, instead of comforting him and maybe offering him another hard-boiled egg, starts yelling at him. He says, "You owe me money for that hard-boiled egg." He says, "Why do I owe you money? I didn't need it." He says, "You owe it because you wasted it. That egg could have grown up to be a chick, and then afterwards a chicken, and then we would have had more chickens, and that chicken would have given birth to several other chickens. And by the time we're done, from that egg that you dropped, it would have been thousands of chickens. You owe me lots of money." And the poor man says, "Please, I'm a poor man. How much is the value of the egg?" He says, "Oh, a penny." "Well, I don't have a penny. I'm not very good with money." He goes his way. A year later, the other man takes him to court. He takes him to court. And the night before the trial, the poor man is beside himself. So he goes to see the wisest man in the kingdom, King David. He goes to the palace and he knocks. He says, "I need to see King David." He says, "You need to see King David?" "Nobody sees King David." No, that's a different rule. All right. He says, "King David is off on the royal hunt. Would you like to talk to his baby son, Shlomo, Solomon?" He's not a baby. He's maybe 10 years old. He says, "Solomon? Who's Solomon?" He says, "He's the prince, Prince Solomon. You never heard of Prince Solomon?" He says, "No." "Solomon brothers, yes, not Prince Solomon." So they take him to see Prince Solomon, and he says, "This is my story with the egg, with the dropping, with the penny, blah, 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 taking me to court." And the king and the prince says, "Give me overnight, I'll figure it out." and I'll get back to you. So while the poor man is sleeping the overnight, the prince goes to quick on the royal hunt with an especially fast steed to catch up with his royal father, which he does, and his father explains him the answer, which I will give you now. You're looking up the answer on your phone? No, it's all right. I don't care. It's okay. Believe me, my students, what do you think they're doing? Anyway,
Oh, they're all on their phones.
yes, but only if I give them permission. And I gently go over and I close the top of the laptop. If they're laptopping when they should be listening.
I say, where does the phone belong? And then they go like this and like, in the bag.
Oh, good, I'll quote you. All right. Okay, so he goes back the next day, talks to the poor man, and okay, the poor man goes to court, and good Shabbos, good morning. And the poor man goes to court, and he says, "This is my case, Your Honor. I was in this man's inn. I was hungry, gave me a hard-boiled egg, accidentally dropped it. Now he says I owe him thousands and thousands of dollars and/or gold coins because I wasted an egg that, if left alone, could have grown into chickens or hens or roosters or whatever."
Wait till he says the whole thing, you
Oh, there
guys.
goes the story. Thank you for
Oh.
waiting till the end.
Wait.
Oh,
Hard-boiled
I'm
egg
sorry.
doesn't grow into, no, don't apologize, you're right. Why did the poor man not have to pay the innkeeper?
It was
I'm
already
sorry.
cooked.
Yes, because from cooked eggs, you get chickens and roosters and hens and other chickens and eggs.
You can't get.
No, it is a physical impossibility. Thank you for your patience. And what do we learn from that? Nothing at all. What?
I was gonna ask you, what do we learn from this?
Nothing at all. I don't know, you can learn something, I suppose. I mean, chickens, how come the chicken is flacious and the egg is hard?
That's a good question.
Okay, well, chew on that a while.
Because
Let's do the bottom of page
You mean you're not gonna give us the,
it's not logical, it's Judaism. You want
At
logic?
one time, a chicken wasn't considered meat.
That's
Yeah,
true.
how long was that? I wasn't there. Tell me when this happened.
how?
It happened at the beginning of time.
There you go. The chicken was like,
Bird meat, but not fish.
no, fish is fine.
This goes all,
He's talking about chicken.
Yes,
Find out why he crossed the
Chickens
road
were
yet.
not considered.
get away from the innkeeper.
At the
Right.
beginning of
Yeah,
time.
oh, that's a good
Right.
one. I like it.
How are you?
Perfect.
Good. You're looking more statesman-like.
Oh, well, that's nice.
How are you, Erwin?
I'm well.
Good. I look forward to your Haftorah.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, that's beautiful.
This Shabbos, right?
This Shabbos, right?
Okay, good. I'll be. Okay, last three lines. Sheipon nebesh hamikdash b'meira v'yameinu v'shem Elokeinu v'toratecha. 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 V'shamna v'archavira k'melam u'chshanim admoni. All right, give me a second. This is in memory of Marvin Shulman, Oliver Shulman. Okay. Aha. How's that look?
much better.
Oh, good. And that reminded me this morning, Reb Mayor, remember the time all the people were complaining that the fringe in the front was sideways. He brought a tape measure.
Yeah.
He measured it from floor to cloth. Okay, the Kaddish Rabbanan. All please rise. Are we minionized yet? Well, we have other people elsewhere in the building. Yid Gadal, Yid Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Amen. Yallah, Yibrach, Yerushalayim, Yachid, Malchusay. V'chayim Tov, Yemei Tov, V'chayim Kol Eid Yisrael. Haggalah, B'Zman Karim, Yibru, Amen. Yehesh Shnei Rabbah, V'Horah, V'Olam, Amen. Yiporah, V'Yishalah, V'Yizophan, 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 V'yitagar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei, v'kudishah, v'riyakun. V'yelam, v'yikol yerchata, v'shirata, tushudechata, v'nechemata, Tamiran v'yallah, v'yimru, amen. Al Yisrael, v'al Ramadan, v'al Talmidecha, v'al kol Talmidei Talmidecha, v'al kol Yosim Yoraita, Ose shalom v'brama, u'barach v'yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al Yisrael, v'al Yisrael, v'yimru. Amen. Please be seated. Psalm Shabbat, page 72. Hayom Yom Shabbat Kodesh, Shebo Hoyelevim Omrim Bebeit HaMikdash.
Grandma's.
Moshe Yom HaShabbat.
Thanks for asking this one.
Shabbos, ladies, thank you for coming. And the last four lines. That's very nice. All right, we'll continue now. On page 82, this is the Mourner's Kaddish. We have been asking all to please rise in memory of the Israelis who gave their lives. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, amen. Yalchal yivrach v'yusei v'yamdiach malchusei. V'chayirchol v'yivechol v'chayirchol v'Yisrael. V'chalav v'zman karev yivru, amen. Yehei shemei rabbah v'vorach v'yolom v'lev. Yitvarach yishavach yitzarach yitzarach yitzasei. Yitzadam, Yitzaleh, Yitzalach, Shnei, Kushal, Brigitu, Li'elam, Likol, Yerchata, Shirata, Tushidachata, Nechemata, Tamiran, Yallah, Yimru, amen. Yehei, Yishlam, Rabba, Mishemaya, Chaim, Aleinu, Yallah, Yisrael, Yimru, amen. Hoseh, Shalom, V'Yallah, U'Barach, V'Yaseh, Shalom, Aleinu, Yallah, Yisrael, Yallah, Yisrael, amen.
Baruch She'omar V'Yom
Baruch Mishalem, Sahar Tov Livreah, Baruch my Lord, Milayam Lanetzah, Baruch Modeh Umatzir, Baruch Shemo. Reading silently the paragraph at the bottom of 83. Yachich Elamim Melech Mishubach V'Foredei Shma Gadol Baruch Ato Adonai Melech V'Ulal Batishkachot. Now we come to a quandary, not a big quandary, what I would call a quandarette. Because when I was a kid, when did you wear tallis? How do you know when I wore tallis when I was a kid? Yes, right, but what stage of life must a young person?
Bar mitzvah.
Right, but in my shul, they didn't let you wear a tallis.
So you got married.
Exactly.
I just asked a question, Rabbi, that's what I just asked, and he's not married, so he doesn't.
He doesn't look married from here. It's like he's still having a good time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sephardim, it's by bar mitzvah.
say again?
The Sephardim hold, they wear a tallis when they bar mitzvah.
Okay,
The Ashkenazim is when they get married.
well, yes, but if the boy comes out, I'm sorry, it was only boys in those days.
That's
I
right.
always say if it weren't for matriarchs, there wouldn't be any patriarchs, but be that as it may, when you came up on the bima, if they gave you the honor of doing the Ein Kelohenu, etc., later on, you wore a tallis in honor of the bima and the Torah.
Okay.
But I grew up in a shul where you didn't put on a tallis till you were married. So it was this one fellow, Sidney Ricklin, rest in peace. I'm pretty sure now that, well, I don't know, there must have been other reasons, but he never wore a tallis. He got old and gray and never wore a tallis.
Mhm.
It was quite a thing. I mean, nobody said anything, but it just sticks in my mind. Okay, that's a rabbinical story with no moral, no lesson, no, just details.
So did the Ashkenazi still follow that rule?
I haven't been, I mean, I'm Ashkenazi, but I would assume so, sure.
Yes, oh, yeah.
Yes, you know, Doc, it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Chabad, you go to Chabad, they go, you know.
Chabad, you don't wear a tallis till you're married.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, and conservative.
Conservative, you wear a tallis.
So then he wears a tallis.
So
Yes.
people don't have many rules.
Yes, you see, it's a beautiful, beautiful religion. We find the smallest, I mean, this is a big thing, but we find things to disagree about it. So it's very, very refreshing.
What if you divorce?
That's true.
If you're divorced, you still wear the tallis in memory of what had been. You sit there agonizing over your fate.
I never wanted.
Okay? Any other questions?
They recall, they don't wear a talisman.
That used to be, but the tallis is gaining favor among the.
Good.
It's a pendulum.
Yeah,
Yes,
and the women and
Yes.
so on,
Wear a tallis.
like to wear. a
Yes.
Some of the women are conservative as well wear a tallis.
Yeah, we
Yes.
don't have many here wearing talisman.
Right.
yes, and we didn't chase them out. Good for us. Okay, yes.
In Chicago at Sinai, they asked you to take it off.
No.
They didn't want you
Really?
coming in with a tallis.
Oh, a woman.
A woman.
No,
Yeah.
a man. They
Why?
didn't wear talis.
Did they check your ring?
No, they didn't, men did not wear talis.
Oh, this is reform.
Reform.
Oh, reform.
Okay.
Oh, right. Back in
I
the
started
sixties.
saying reform. And
I'm
then I
sorry.
went on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I should have paid attention. Will that be on the file? Okay. This will be on the file. Okay, one more thing. When my family and I went to my aunt's son's bar mitzvah back in '67, before the world was created, the rabbi refused to wear a tallis. He was reformed. He wore a black robe, no yarmulke. It was quite a thing. Meantime, my father says to me, I may be in a reformed temple, but I'm still Orthodox. So he would stand up to say whatever it was when everybody else is sitting. They would stand, he would remain sitting, and I, of course, had to do it for, honoring my father. I felt like a piston. It was quite a thing.
So
They-
what happens, Rabbi, a young man comes in this congregation here,
Yes,
and we offer them an aliyah,
yes,
the Torah,
yes,
and they are already bar mitzvah.
right.
What do we do?
Oh, if they come up for the aliyah, they can wear a
Wear a
tallis.
tallis.
And when they go back to their
They
seat,
have to wear the
they
tallis.
continue to wear the tallis. Now, in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, we always had trouble getting a minion. And this was Shabbos morning. And finally, the center came in, the 10th person came in, had a beard and everything. True blue.
No tallis.
Sat in the congregation like a bubble. No, he had a tie on also. And they call him up to the Torah, and he comes up smiling, and then he looks at the Torah, and his face changes. And we said, "What's the matter? Don't you know the brachas? We'll help you with the brachas." He says, "No, I'm not Jewish." He was Presbyterian.
Oh, no.
He was my podiatrist this night. I should have said something.
We can take care of that.
Yeah.
Who has it now then?
Very helpful. Page 96, you're calling a tailor for that? I'd like to see it. Ashrei Shveitecha Hoyalu Chasela, Ashrei Am Shekachalo, Ashrei Am Shanai Eloham, Tila V'Yavi. Reading silently from 96 to 3 paragraphs in 97. And the reason the first letter on each line is in bold is because it mirrors the Aleph Bet, the order of the Hebrew alphabet. 97, third stanza, 3 lines at the box. The Ashrei. Rambam supposedly says that if you say the Ashrei 3 times a day, you're guaranteed to go to heaven. I don't particularly buy that, but I also don't buy that Rambam said that. That's Maimonides. He was an Aristotelian. He davened the Ashrei, but he didn't contemplate mysticism, which that is. Middle of page 100. Hallelujah. This is Shabbat. This is Shabbat. Kol Shabbat, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol Shabbat, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Please rise. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen. Oh, we continue from the bottom of 100 through the Shirat Hayam, the song of the Israelites at the Sea of Reeds, to the middle of 103. Oz Yoshir Moshe, Yisroel Teshir Sotanai, Le'om Baruch. The best thing is to focus on a section that speaks to you and read it over and over, sort of a Jewish meditation. (103) Last 2 lines of the top paragraph. Adonai Hamelcha Umoshel Vagoyim Valumoshiim Biarsionush Polarisov Vayitolan Hamelcha Vayamelcha Karetz Vayamelech Echad Ushemo. Please be seated. Last 2 stanzas in the English at the bottom of 103 on the left.
And when I see you, refuge rock sublime, my morning prayers I offer, those in evening time. I tremble in your awesome presence contrite, for my deepest secrets I strip before your sight. My tongue, what can it say? My heart, what can it do? What is my strength? What is my spirit to? But should music be sweet to you immortal King, your praises will I sing, so long as rest in you. 104. Nishmat Reading silently to the middle of 105. Starts with Nishmat, which means the Neshama. The Neshama is the godly soul. It is not a piece of God. God is not splittable, among other things, but it does imply that we do have this section in us, the godly soul, the Neshama, as opposed to a Nefesh, which is the animal soul, that which gets us up in the morning, we do our business, we brush our teeth, etc., and then we go out to face the day. So the Nefesh eventually will expire, but the Neshama lives on forever.
It is the wave, God is the ocean. When we are gone, the neshama goes back to be with God. That's mysticism.
Yes.
Yes. All right, page 105. Let's see if we can do this. So David borech bo nafshi es Hashem borech nafshi es Hashem borech nafshi es Hashem borech nafshi es Hashem borech nafshi borech nafshi borech nafshi es Hashem chok rabai et shem kodsho. That's the nefesh, that's the animal soul. Let my soul praise God and all of my innards praise his holy name. 2 paragraphs from the bottom of 105. Yesharim titalal, uvdivrei tzadikim tiporach, uvilshon chasidim titromah, uvekerev yedoshim tikadosh, uvmatalot shekin chovat kol hayitzurim lefanecha, Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu, Lodot la'aleh shabeach lefoer, Elohim la'adel avorech li'aleh, u'lekadosh. All divrei shir v'tishbechot, David ben Yishai avdecha, Mishikecha. Page 106. Now this is 106, the top paragraph, last 4 lines at the box. Baruch Tishbachot El Haodot Adonai Nifraot Shirei Tzimra. Please rise. The half Kaddish at the bottom. If you listen, you'll hear the same motif. It's the same motif, musical motif, repeated throughout Shacharit and Musaf. Different, no, Musaf is different, but and here it comes with the half Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shelei rabon. Divrach l'mitei, v'yamich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei tefal beit Yisrael, u'v'zman kori, v'yemei, v'eishtei rabon v'yomechon, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'pohar v'tomam v'naseh yitadach yitalach shemei kushari v'yelah v'kol birchata v'shirata Tustechatam
Page 107, we bow towards the ark for the Baruch. Baruch et Adonai Hamevorah. Adonai Hamevorah. Leolam Kohen. Please be seated. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer ol borei choshech useh shalom uborei et hakom. O yadus v'lofei shavchu v'lofei yamru en kadosh l'Adonai. In Kerka, the last three lines on 107. In Kerka Adonai Eloheinu b'olam hazeh v'yein zulat chamalchenu l'chayei ha'olam haba efes l'zachag aleinu l'ilot ha'moshiach v'yein domeh l'cha Moshiach. Page 108. Elohim al-Hamasi, Baruch v'Tikva Neshama, Yom V'Shuvo Aleinu, Amin. Hayot HaKodesh, in the Hetar V'Chavro, HaMerkava, Zechu Misho, V'Chiso, Hesed V'Rachamim, V'Kevodo, Tovim Miot Shebahar, Eloheinu Yitzhak, Amidah, V'Vino Vaskem, Oh, Natan Mohem, the old Moshe, Keretevel, Milenzim, Unfikin Dora, Noeziva, Olam, Simei, Mitzay, Thomas Sassin, Oh, Simei, So Olam. Nahilishmo, Savirina Sefer Malchuto, Ayral Shemesh, Vayitzrachol, Raviki, Surat Alana, Sheva, Nodilo, Otsivo, Namorum. Ugedula, Sirakim Yochim, Ayotako Desh. Page 109. Moel Shabbat B'Kol Masim, V'Yoshvi Yitala V'Yoshavaki Seich Bodu. And the last sort of 2 lines, 3 lines to Barach. Be thou blessed, Lord our God. Praise of the works of your hands and all the little flickering lights and stars and planets, well, planets don't flicker, that you have made, glorified may you be. Selah. We don't know what Selah means. It could be a character in, let's see, it was Tennessee Williams, and Stella. What was that?
That's
Streetcar.
Streetcar.
Streetcar named Desire. See, it doesn't always work, but eventually it comes back. Sometimes 2 days later. Can you just start the search engine going? Tiporach Moshino Shabach Moseotecha, Amare Osha Sityafaru Haseva. Page 110. Tiporach Sureinu Makin Regalenu, Ore Kedoshim. Yishtabach Shimcha, Olam Eloheinu.
Citizen, this is at the box, Kulam Ahuvim. All of them are beloved. It's a description of the angels in heaven. The translation doesn't do it justice. All different kinds. You have the Ophanim, which are wheels. These are heavenly celestial wheels. I suppose they have wings. They roll all around heaven. They are covered with eyes. Wheels with eyes. Number one. Number two, cherubim. They are not the funny fat boys on the Valentine cards. They have the bodies of lions, the claws and head of eagles, and eagles' wings as well. Oh, and a snake for their tail. I had one once. Yes. A snake for their tail. Yes. Well, you can never tell who's coming back behind you. It's a good thing to have. Let's see, who else?
Quite a tale, isn't it?
Oh, one more. The seraphim. The seraphim. These are divine flames. They love God so much. They burn and burn. They burn themselves up to show their worship of God. And God loves them all because he made them all. Loves us too. They are all beloved. They are all clear. They're all mighty. They all perform with fear and trembling the will of their maker. They all open their mouths with holiness and purity, with song and praise, and they bless and they exalt and they splendify. Okay, I just made a verb out of an adjective. And they raise up and sanctify and enthrone the name of the Lord God. See, it's so beautiful. I'm sorry, Rabbi. I'm sorry, Harlow. Not quite missing the mark. Kulam ha'ovim, kulam berurim, kulam giborim, kulam osim v'yemahu v'yira, Ritzon kohonam, kulam motchim et pihem, b'tusha v'tara, b'shira v'zimra, u'mevarechim u'meshabechim, ומפארים ומעריצים, ומקדישים וממליכים, את שם האל הגדול יבוא מנורה, וגדול יבושו. וכולם מקבלים עליהם, כל מלכות שמיים זה מזה, ונותנים רשות זה לזה, מקדיש ליוצרם, בנחת רוח, שפה ברורה ונעימה, קדושה כולם כאחד, עונים ויומם ביראה. קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלך הארץ כבודו, והאופנים בחיות הקודש, רעש גדול מנסים, ומצרפים, ומתם משבחים ואומרים, ברוך אלוהים, just a line and a half the box. And the divine wheels and the holy beasts with a great noise lift themselves up to the level of the seraphim, the flaming angels, and sounds like a motorcycle gang, and they together praise and state, Baruch kivod Adonai Mikono. Blessed is the Lord from his place. Goel Baruch Imoditenu. I could teach a semester on this page alone.
Well, I'd like to be in that class. Okay.
I'll talk to you after. Or Chadash Ad Zion Tahir Inis Kecholana Mehera Lioro Baruch Atadana Yotzer Amihu. Page 111. Okay, as we have been doing, as many congregations continue to do, we'll sing at the bottom of 111, at the box, Vavienu, bring us back from the four corners of the earth, Shivat Zion, the return to Zion, which ought to take place when Mashiach comes. Vavienu Shalom, Ve'arba Kadrot Haaretz, V'tovienu Kovimiros, Kovimiros Kaiseriyu, Yeshutata, Uvachata Mikolam Belashem, V'kerata, V'shim Pagado, Zeva, V'emes,
Odotava, Uliachecha, Uliachecha, Yahweh. Baruch Adonai, Ocher Yisrael, Yahweh. Page 112, cover the eyes. Shema Yisrael, Adonai, Adonai. The eyes. Shekera, Mahuta, Miola, Yata, Etaranaya, Necha, Yehoracha, Onachela, Ulachal Yudecha, Nehayu, Adori, Amen. Hashem, Adonai, Besavel, Vishinanta, Vivanecha, Vidivartabam, Vishitecha, Vitecha, Uletecha, Vadecha, Ushatecha, Uletecha, Ushakam Dios, Hallelujah, we read silently the paragraph at the bottom of 112. Now at this point, we reach for the tzitziot, the fringes and the corners of the talit. What is the sum total of knots, turnings, and windings in the tzitzit? 613, exactly, which is the sum total of the number of mitzvot. Now, I don't do math. I'm really bad at math. My mother spent summer when I was about 10. We would be crossing the street. We'd be crossing Broadway in Midtown New York City. And she'd turn to me and say, 8 times 6. Well, you learn it because it's either that or she pushes you in front of a checkered cat. So I learned but that's about where I stopped. But the point is, only Jews, okay, see this? It has knots, turnings, and windings. How many in each bunch of strings? Just the strings. 8, okay? And the knots, turnings, and windings, there are charts that show you how to do this. Only Jews can take a multiple of 4 and get 613. I still haven't figured it out. There must be a stray knot in there somewhere. Okay. Every time we say the word tzitzit, we kiss the tzitzit. Vayomer Adonai Moshe v'Mor Na'eh El Bnei Yisrael v'Amarta v'Yasu lahem tzitzit Aman v'Egem v'Doratam v'Yu Al tzitzit Amanat v'Til Techelet V'Yalachem Tzitzit Uritem Oto Ustartem Ekom Itzmotam Noi Tzitem Otam V'Lotatu Acharei V'Lechem V'Acharei Asher Atem Zahim Acharei V'Atzitem Ekom Itzvotai V'Item Gedoshim Le'Lohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Hashem Hotzeit Yetchem Eretz Mitzrayim V'Yot Lachem Le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem No paragraph. One more kiss for the tzitzit, and the last two lines of this paragraph. Kiss the tzitzit, drop the tzitzit, and the last three lines on 113. Malkeinu melech avotenu, goaleinu goel avotenu, yotzreinu tzu yeshuatenu, odenu matzilenu me'olam shemecha, Elohim tzedakenu. If you're listening, you heard that motif again. Tatan, 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 114. Ezrat avotenu atzavu me'olam. Same motif. Middle of the page at the box, Tehilot. Tehilot, Tehilot, Baruch Hu, Evodah, Moshe, Yisrael, Baruch Shira, V'Simcha Rama, Yamru Kulam. Oldest piece of poetry in the Bible, sung by Miriam and the Israelites, and Moses chiming away in the background for the Milchamos. Let's rise. Adonai, the Allah, so Israel, who are the Ezra, Israel, who they command, David, Israel, Adonai, Israel, Israel, Baruch, Adonai, Goal Israel. Page 115b. Adonai, Sifatai Tifta, Ufia Gitihilatecha. That's the prayer you say before you pray, that when you pray, you should pray with Levav Shalem, with the full heart. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah So make the free, they're all fair, holy. Almighty, serene, so the shame Page 116 to the tune of Erev Shoshanim. This was a big hit in Israel in 1959. It's not holy music. It was on the top 10 in Israel, and it somehow crept into the prayer book. Shenatishi, Oto Ishme Arya Om Hamalkenu, Tofi Avitin Lohol Nenu, Kimachakim, Anachnu Lo, Motai Lo Sion, Nikoro Biamenu, Yolam Vohen, Tishkon. Middle paragraph, third line. Adam, Adam, Ito, Yushalayim, Yihimah. Continuing silently, 117 to 120, after which you may be seated.
Others gonna play the time. Then you must be doing it in. I need to move that. You doing, I do the rest of the option. She almost like me and been changing. You'd be so. You know, when I started, you know. Come down here, to be with the. He knows everything.
Does anybody mind terribly if I get my jacket off?
No.
I remain disrobed to the.
I don't think that.
Oh, well, I'll, you want to wear it?
I wear your jacket.
Yeah.
You going to?
You should see it.
What do you like?
Did I miss anything? Tell me everything. Well, first, okay, the full Kaddish signifying the conclusion of the Shacharit. You notice I don't shush them, I just go on. You don't shush Jews, God bless it. Yitkara v'yikara Shemei Rabbi Yom Adi B'rachu Tzevim Liach Machutei L'chayim Chonev Me'ach Chonev V'chayim Chol Beit Yisrael Agalav B'zman Kariv Yimru Amen Yehesh Me'im Rabba B'Torah Yom 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 Yistorah V'orach V'shabbat V'poar V'trumam V'naseh V'tadar V'talev V'talal Shmei Kodesha V'rechu Yelam and Kol Bechata V'shirata V'shbechata V'nachmata Damir Al Yama V'imru Amen Ein Shalom Rabba Min Shemaya T'chayim Aleinu Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen Ose Shalom B'mrova Uyase Shalom Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'imru Yase Shalom Yase Shalom Shalom Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael Yase Shalom Yase Shalom Shalom Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'yal Kol Yoshvei Tekel V'imru Amen. All right, we'll continue now with the Chutzot HaSefer, taking out the Torah. Will be the one on the right. Okay, that is Leon. It's Leon. You have to be friendly with your Torahs. They like it.
It reminded me of.
Yes, yes.
Oh, you did?
Yes, yes.
Nice
The
job.
Torah fair is not like this morning.
Perfect. I was thinking about it.
No, I was too. See great minds. All right, please rise and kamocha. Good Shabbos. Right, let me a handshake.
I'm going to be here.
Everybody's got to be someplace. Okay.
Oh, that's. I love you more. I love you. Does anybody else?
Well, that's very kind. I love the declaration of love that's qualified. Look at men's, you wear the tie, you don't.
Malchut 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 olamim, Meshavach v'hodor v'ador, Adonai Yahweh, Adonai Malach, Adonai Yimlo, Yimlam, Even so, I know that Moshe, who
Continuing now on page 140, the second paragraph. This is taken from the Zohar, the book of Kabbalah.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Shema Yisrael,
Down towards the ark. Adonai, stay straight now. All right, you may be seated. Thank you so much for coming. It's really nice. It's Hamish here. I love the big room. Don't misunderstand me. The main sanctuary. It's gorgeous. Absolutely lovely. But this place, you can hear me, I can hear you, whatever it is. Okay. It happened to me once when I said that line, you can hear me, I can hear you. Some person who thought they were giving a compliment said, Rabbi, a deaf man could hear you. All right, we live in perilous times, and I don't have to give you the details. The news is with us more frequently than ever before. I have about 5 or 6 news apps. One of them tells me if there's a cat up a tree in Miami. The other one tells me if there's a catastrophe on the other side of the world. And so you go to the religious people, you go to the rabbis, you go to the cantors, and you say, what do I need? Help me get through these difficult times. And they say to you, have faith. Have faith. Gamzu Yavor, this too shall pass. What does it mean to have faith? Well, let's go back to 1980. That was a while ago. That was my first full-time pulpit. When I was in rabbinical school in New York City, I had a student pulpit out in Warren, New Jersey. And that was really a good testing area because you can make mistakes as a student rabbi that they wouldn't let you get away with. I mean, the Kinahara, God forbid, the really big mistakes. I, thank God, never made a big mistake. I had colleagues who did that. But then I went down to Fayetteville, North Carolina, because Annabeth and I wanted to get out of New York City. Well, we did. And then some. By the time we got out of Jersey, there was a sign that said, you are so leaving New York City.
Absolutely.
We were leaving on board. It's a beautiful congregation. It was a lovely building. The rabbi's house was right on the grounds. Why is it not good to have the rabbi's house a stone's throw away from the shore?
You're always accessible.
Exactly, because the caretaker, let him rest in peace, had the good sense to have a house 3 miles away. The rabbi was right there. So I would get these knocks on my door at odd times, and with all respect, little old Jewish ladies with southern accents, with Yiddish southern accents would come over. Yes? Oh, hi, Mrs. Jockenfloster. Can I help you? Rabbi, do you have the key to the shul? Because I don't have the key. I left the key at home. So we found ways to make ourselves useful. But it was more than that. There were 500 churches. I sat down one Sunday and I counted the religion column in the local newspaper. Remember local newspapers? Remember any of those things? I know. But anyway, I counted them. There were 500 churches and I was the Jew. But the place where I had some of my most fun down there, because Southerners, North Carolinians, take their religion very, very seriously. The Northeasterners are a little bit different. Everybody does take their religion seriously, but it's, as I say, a little different. Let me explain. I was an active participant in the local ministers association. It was fun. You could get together. We were all young guys. It was fun. And in those days, everybody was young, it seemed. All these new ministers who've been posted to this out-of-the-way community, although it was fairly cosmopolitan for a Southern community. They had the army, and nothing will democratize you more than that. It was the peacetime army. It was Reagan's army. And it was sort of like a big green machine. You had upper managers and middle managers and lower managers all wearing the same uniform. That was the dress code. And I met a lot of wonderful soldiers. All in 6 years that we were there, I only met one soldier who told me, I joined the army to learn how to kill people. It's a skill, I suppose. You see it in all the movies. But, and he was from Boston. I don't know if that's a reflection on the city. But there in the Ministers Association, the local priests, ministers, and rabbis convened on a monthly basis. There was a time when they didn't invite the priests. It's one thing to be Jewish. You're one of his people. And they weren't talking about Uncle Irvin. They were talking, well, you know. But the Catholics, they suspected, that irked the Baptists no end because the local Catholic Church had more members than the local Baptist church.
Wow.
And there were hundreds of Baptist
Yeah,
churches.
that's surprising.
Okay.
Now, because of, again, the army had that leavening.
Yeah.
Once in a while, when we weren't talking about politics or the weather, we talked about theology. And this, of course, is the meat by which ministers flourish, make their living, advise their people. Beautiful stuff. It was also the first time since leaving New York City that I encountered evangelical Christians, all different types. There was one fellow I met who had a habit of riding his Harley up and down the aisle of the sanctuary, not when they were having services. But this other minister was older, and he took his faith very seriously. He believed in the literal truth of everything in the Bible, which made me crazy, because that is why we have commentaries, to figure it out for you and tell it to you. You can believe it or not. One time, a Methodist colleague of mine said, David, he said, do Jews have bishops? I said, no, we do not. He said, why not? Because the Methodists live and die by their bishops. Then after 5 years, he says, go where I send thee, and he puts you in your chuppahsville. One minister I knew there were bookcases, but they had handles. So he could break them down, throw them into the back of the Ram truck, and be on his way. He said to me, why don't Jews have bishops? And I said, because nobody would listen to them. We are the original Congregationalists. We're notoriously independent. But during one heated discussion, including this particular evangelical, not the one with the Harley, the one who was more mature, more serious, more believing, I saw a crack in his rich and unyielding facade. I don't remember the specifics of the question, but have you ever noticed there are verses in the Torah, not to mention the Tanakh, which contradict each other?
Yep.
I mean, for
No.
instance, my famous example is, yes, what did God create on the first day of creation?
Light.
Light.
Why?
When did God get around to creating the sun, moon, and stars? Whence cometh the light? The fourth. What was the fourth day? It's all right. It took me years. I used to think it was the fifth day. Maybe we're both right.
No, I can't remember.
It's okay. Well, it's still out there. Still working. Yes, no batteries. But my point is that that's a contradiction. So how do you do it? So the Buddhists will say it's the light of the soul. It's the light of the self. The Jews have a whole lot of other explanations. I'm content to live with paradox. We have so many paradoxes in life. Why not have them in our faith as well? So in this instance, with the light here and the planets there, the evangelical, I'll never forget. He's one of those people who, if they were in deep thought, you could see the veins working in their head. You ever met people like that? And we said, and that the questioner said to him, the other minister said, does this prove to you that not everything in the Bible can be taken literally? He said, no. No, he said,
Wow.
there is a contradiction I cannot reconcile, and so I must agree with you. But I have faith there is a way to understand both verses. I just don't know how yet. You got to admire that. Even if you
That's
disagree.
blind faith. That's unreal. Absolutely.
It's life. This is how some get through. Really. The rest of us say, I'm going to go to the local coffee shop. I have faith there'll be a bagel. There'll be some cream cheese.
Only if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they can be sold out.
Got to get there early. Well, I followed the conversation. I was very impressed by the evangelical's humility, that he had no answer to his conundrum. But I admired his faith even more. After the meeting, I went over to him. He was the star of the show, so to speak. I said, how are you able to have such unbending, firm faith? And he said to me, it takes work. It takes work, young man. Because I was a kid. What did I know? I had never before thought about faith as something you work on. In Judaism, it's more or less something they hand to you. Later on in life, your faith is tried. Doom, defeat, despair, terrible things can happen. We pray they will not happen, but we retain our faith. But at that point in my life, because your faith has got to mature, you either have faith or you don't. But something this man said made me think again. Maybe faith is not a yes or no proposition. Faith is something you have to take out and use it with practice. That which we believe is tested or challenged, perhaps we can re-examine the test or the challenge. And with that in mind, we turn to Shalach Lecha. Giving you the quick overview, the Israelites are complaining again. So what's new? Jews have been complaining for 3,500 years. God willing, with God's help, we'll keep on complaining. I always say, kvetchere vivere. To kvetch is to live. As long as you're kvetching, as long as you're complaining about something, you're in it. You're in the game. You're with it. Moses is approached by the Israelites, not in a nice way, and they say, we must spy out the land. And he says, why? I have faith. God will protect us. God will give us the land. See, it's written down here. I wrote it right in this book, the Torah. And they say, no. What you have to do is send spies. So does he send spies? No, he sends spies. He sends the heads of the tribes, the Nisim, the princes of the tribes. They have the power of life or death over their tribal members. They have wonderful names. There, of course, at the top is Yoshua ben Nun, Joshua the son of Nun, or as some people say, Joshua the son of Nun, or Kalev ben Yefuneh, which literally means dog, the son of face. Love these names. You don't find any Yefunehs out there anymore. Hoshea ben Nun, we got that already. Gadiel ben Sodi, which is God will redeem me, and I'm having a coke. Gadiel ben Sodi. Okay. Anyway, so what happens here, he gathers 12 representatives to enter the land of Canaan on a reconnaissance mission. They come back in 40 days, as I said, or maybe it was 30, I think it was 30. And one of them brings, I mentioned this last night, forgive me, a bunch of grapes. Now, you know, and I know, you don't just buy the grapes. You have to sample one to see if it's good. And then you buy its friends. But there are some people who grab a handful of grapes and they walk through the supermarket and they're having a nosh. They didn't pay for it. Well, what can I say? Now, they come back with grapes the size of bowling balls. The grapes are so huge. How huge are they? Bowling balls. That it takes two guys carrying it, not just with a plastic bag, but a big stick, a big thick branch, and they hang the bunch of grapes from the center of the branch. Wait, we're not done yet. Also, they bring a pomegranate the size of the Ritz. It's huge, okay, very big pomegranate. And finally, they bring a fig, one fig. What if somebody else wants? Never mind, it's very large, we'll cut it up. And they come across and they say to Moses, the land which you sent us to is very prosperous and very well agricultured. I don't think that's a word. And this is its fruit. However, the walls of the cities in which these people dwell are 6 feet thick. The walls go up to heaven, and the people themselves are giants against whom we appear as grasshoppers. Almost a direct paraphrase. And what do the people do? They cry that night. And God said, hey, hello, I'm still here. I'm going to free you. I freed you. I sent plagues. I sent everything. I'm going to rescue you. People don't listen. And they cry all the night. And God said, you cried without reason. I'll give you a reason. And that's where Tisha B'Av comes from. That's where the Shalosh Shavuot come from. The 3 weeks between Shabbat Tammuz and Tisha B'Av. The saddest time of the year, when the sun is at its apogee and the heat is intense. Did you notice the heat is intense?
Yeah.
We got an extra serving.
Absolutely.
Well, God wasn't happy. And a lot of what we do is, I suppose, designed to make God happy rather than ourselves. Hopefully, we're in a situation where both God and we can be happy. That's a tricky one. God says, let me destroy this nation. I'll kill them all. And from you, Moses, I will make a great nation. And Moses says, not a good idea, God, he says. And God says, why? I love how they go back and forth with each other. It's quite a routine. And Moses says, if you destroy this nation, even if you have intentions of creating a new nation, what will the Egyptians say? What will the Hittites say? It is the first appearance in Jewish historiography of what will the Gentiles think. It's a shanda for the Gentiles if you destroy this people. It appeared in the Torah first. But instead, the spies fall back. They're in very sad shape. Which means we shall not be able to ascend against these people because they are mightier than we. Indeed, says Rashi, the spies rallied against God. Should you be one who fights against God? We don't think it's a good thing. I don't know what the Muslims think, but the Christians have an expression. They have a character. I don't have to tell the story. John Butadeus, John the striker of God. The fact that someone would have the audacity to strike out against the maker of heaven and earth. But what they're saying is, this is bad. The spies are saying, not just Mimenu, not just from than we are. The spies say that the people in Canaan are stronger than God. Well, in the context of the time, this is it's a bad thing, but it's not unusual. Because at this point, our God is not God of the universe. He is a tribal God. He is the God of the Israelites, in the same way that Baal was the king of the god of the Babylonians, Osiris was the god of the Egyptians, and so on and so forth. But you see, taken by itself, because when I was a kid, nobody said, oh, David, for extra credit, read about Osiris and Baal. No, they just said, this is audacious, and these people deserve to be punished. Well, what happens is that currently they, the Israelites, and we are lost in a maze. The maze consists of dangers to our existence, dangers to our brothers and sisters, and you say, well, the lesson of history is that really, if the Jews get slapped, nobody really cares. The Jews would rather see the world as victims than victors. And that, besides what Clausewitz said was the fog of war, something is getting lost here. But how do we deal with the maze? It is faith that gets you through the maze. Logic and reason will not provide a path out. But if you can ascend above the maze, and it takes a big soul and a great heart and a strong mind to do this. If you can get out of all the nooks and crannies and like a rat desperately racing through the Skinner box, looking for that magic pellet, which is going, they'll eat and it'll make everything better. No, you rise above. Faith is what helps you rise above. You say, God, get me through this. It's very similar, and I've used this simile before, when the baby first learns to walk. And we were talking about Norman Rockwell before. Do you remember that famous painting of his, illustrator, artist of their days, of the baby? And the baby has the father here behind her and the mother there before her. And the baby is walking by herself for the first time. No cruising, no coffee table, nothing like that. Pure muscle power. And the baby gets this look of amazement on her face like, oh my goodness, I'm walking. I don't even know what this is called. No other baby in the history of the universe has ever done this before. I'm the one. Well, babies have that attitude. Meantime, the parents are smiling, they're laughing, their baby is growing and growing and growing, getting smarter one day, God willing, Harvard, Yale, who knows, she'll have to get dressed. But the point is that in the painting, the baby is marching along. That is our situation now. Where we were, that is the person behind us, the parent, the loving, tender parent who would give their life for the kid behind us. And now we are all by ourselves. And we say, where is God? There is God ahead of you, the mother, the father, the parents who cherish you and nurture you. Because we all know that of all the species on this planet, human beings are the most helpless. The deer is born knowing how to stand up. The bear is born knowing to stay with the mother, and so on and so forth. I beg you, I urge you, and I'm telling myself as well, because I'm not giving you advice that I wouldn't take. Of course, look who it's coming from. But my point is that the faith, emunah, which means amen, which means I believe, or we agree with you. That's why Amen comes at the end of the important prayers. Shabbat Shalom. Good job.
Shabbat Shalom.
Could have given that one on Yom Kippur. Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very moving.
Thank you. All right.
Don't want to.
Shalom. Oh, the garden.
Oh, it's here.
Yes. Answer begin shall call Hosim Bob Amen. A call of the Lahin to look over the Torah. Kohanik Kirbi, Tamod Giveret, Esther Bat Harad,
Esther Shulamit.
Esther Shulamit, Bat Harad, Eliyahu HaKohen,
Gittel.
Gittel, also my puppy. Yazrav Yogin Yoshiel, Kol Hosim Bo, Amar. Amen.
Baruch Hu Adonai HaBarach. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher B'Kavanu B'Kol Hamim. V'natan Lanu B'Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten Torah.
The first part of the Torah portion is a list of the names of the different Nisim, the different princes of the tribes. Amen. Vaydaber Adonai Moshe lemor. And God said to Moses, saying, send forth men and let them spy out the land, or at least tour the land, which is the Hebrew, which I am giving to the children of Israel. Each man, one man, according to the flag of the tribe, the flag of their ancestors, shall you send. Call every prince among them. And Moses sent them from the wilderness of Paran by the word of God. They were all men, the heads of the children of Israel.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'Chayei Olam Natav V'Tocheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten Torah. If they were women, it would have been the same.
I think so too. No, I agree with you. I was just emphasizing
Because you just kept saying, they're men, they're men, they're men.
Right,
If they were women, it would be completely different.
right. It's the first time I ever read the Torah ironically. Because without women, where are the men? Someplace else. Probably not where they ought to be. Oh, doctor. Good to see you. Good job. Yamod, Red Yisachar, Pesach, Ben Yisachar, Ben Tzvi, yes, Elka, Shehi, the Elek.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hambarach. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Voed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bo Harbonu Mikol Ha'amim V'nosan Lanu Es Torah. Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
This is the listing of the names. As a result, it's not a very long aliyah. I apologize. Next Shabbos, God willing, you'll come, you'll get a longer aliyah. Amen. Ile Shmotam Lemate Ruven Shamua ben Zachur, Lemate Shimon Shaphat ben Chori, Lemate Yehuda Kaleh ben Yefune.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Nosan Lanu Torah Semes V'Chayei Olam Natav V'Socheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah. Thank you.
Yamod Reb Tzvi Yehuda ben Avra Yitzchak Isaac Umar Yaso Shlishi. Baruch Hu Adonai Asher Kochabon B'Kohanim V'Nos Namos Nutel. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten Torah. Amen.
Amen. Mate Sachar Yigal ben Yosef. Mate Ephraim Hoshea bin Nun. Mate Binyamin Hati ben Rafu. Hati ben Rafu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher nosan lanu Torah emes, v'chayei olam atah b'silchenu, Baruch atah Adonai noten Torah.
Amen. Very appropriate for you, Dr. Saab, because that last name means Palti ben Rafu. That's wondrous son of the doctor. Rafu. The doctor. Yamon Shli Revi. Yamon Reb. Israel. And Yaakov. And Yaakov. Ufegi. Alevi. Revi.
Baruch Adonai Amaro. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher b'chabanu mikol ha'amim v'nasan lanu et Torah. Baruch atah Adonai nosein Torah.
As for ending this aliyah, the prince of the tribe of Dan is Amiel ben Gamali, which means people of God, son of my camel. Not your camel, my camel. Yes. That's what it is. What can I tell you? Amen. Lemate Zvulun Gadiel ben Sodi, Lemate Yosef, Lemate Menashe, Gadi ben Susi, Mate Dan Amiel ben Gemali.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher nasan lanu Torah emes, v'chayei olam notah b'silchenu. Baruch atah Adonai nosein Torah.
Amen. Yashkoa Hamishi.
Next 3.5 minutes. These are short aliyot.
Oh, my goodness. Tamar Giveret. Dina Bat. Abraham Uvracha. Hamishi. Mate Asher. Gadi ben Susi. Gadi ben Susi means my goat, son of my horse. No, we did that already. No, I didn't. Yes, there, you can never have too many my horses. Mate Asher.
Baruch hu Adonai Hamara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Fine. Yes, the Mate Asher. Amen. Lemashte Asher Asatur ben Michael, Mate Naftali Nachbi ben Babsi, Mate Gad Geuel ben Machi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yashkoa. Shishi, number 6. After the 2-pound seeded rice slice. Good Shabbos. How you doing? Eile Shemot. That was the end.
Very small Shabbat.
Amen. These are the names of the, here it comes again, men whom Moses sent to spy out the land. And Moses called to Hoshea, called the name of Hoshea ben Nun Yehoshua. And he sent him, and Moshe sent them to spy out the land of Canaan. And he said to them, go up from the Negev desert
and climb the mountains and see the land, what it is, and the people who dwell therein. Are they strong or weak? Are they small? Are they few or very many? In Ra. Tina, if you could, I'm sorry, just put the Ben Gavra on the top. Having completed the sixth aliyah, this time we do the Mishaberach for the Cholim, the prayer of the Torah for the folks who are not well. I have a list here, wishing them refuah shlema, a quick and speedy recovery. Mr. Paul Dobbs, refuah shlema. Sheila Bergman, refuah shlema. Sonia and Herb Yevsky, refuah shlema. Jeff Stern, refuah shlema. Laura Durant, refuah shlema. Marty Mentor, refuah shlema. Elisa Pepper, refuah shlema. Vince and Patricia Massey, refuah shlema. Rachel Spira, refuah shlema. Any other names? Yes.
Marky Lackman,
Refuah shlema. Yes.
Jose Lowe,
Refuah shlema.
Chris Black.
Refuah shlema.
Paula Rudy's.
Refuah shlema. Refuah shlema. Refuah shlema. Refuah shlema. Refuah shlema. No, yes.
Judy Kaufman.
Refuah shlema. Anyone else? Yes.
Jennifer Radzinski
Refuah shlema.
and Karima Khoury.
Refuah shlema.
Thank you.
Avram Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah v'Farah, et kol ha'chorim, yivei ha'knesset, ha'aseh, refuat ha'nefesh, refuat ha'guf, Ashab l'zman kariv b'yom Shabbat Kodesh, shemevorchim et ha'chodesh, v'nomar Omein. Shevi. Good Shabbos. Haaretz. How is the land? This is fertile or not? Sorry? Yeah, that's a good idea. Talmud, you better use this. This Sora Shevi.
Baruch Hu Adonai Habarach. Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. U'ma'aretz asher hu yoshev bo hatovahu imra'a. ומהערים אשר הוא יושב בהנה, על מחנים אם במבצרים, ומהארץ השמנה היא, אם רזה, היש בה עץ אם אין, והתחזקתם ולקחתם מפרי הארץ, והימים ימי ביקורי ערבים, ויעלו ויתורו את הארץ מבלצין, על רחוב לבוא.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tocheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. Please rise, have Kaddish. Off here beautifully is the tzitzit paragraph. by Korach, the Shabbos.
Which would be 5 and 6, Rabbi.
Say again?
5 and 6 approximately.
Oh. Well, I have to go there to get here. Okay. Malcolm, that's.
No, going forward.
I'll do the half Kaddish meanwhile.
Okay.
It Gadav Yikadash Shemei Rabba Ram Lehen Yalmadi Brach Ruteviam Lech Machute Echaye Chol Nevimechon Ubechaye Chol Beit Yisrael Agarlo Zman Garivim Amen Eshmei Ram Lechon Ram Yom Barach Bishtabach B'Poar B'Trumam B'Naseh B'Tadar B'Talev B'Talol Shmei Kudusha Amen Kol V'Chata V'Shirata Shmata V'Nechmata Damir V'Alma Amen. Please be seated. Yavon
Yitzchak ben Yeshaya Halevi.
Yitzhak ben Yeshaya Halevi this
Cecil.
Cecil Amaftir. Oh, thank you. You're very kind.
Thank you.
Oh, I really appreciate it. Yeah. Seat.
Baruch Hu es Adonai HaMavorach. Baruch Adonai HaMavorach Le'olam Bo'ed. Baruch Ato Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bocha Bonu Mikol Amin V'nosan Lonu Es Toraso. Baruch Ato Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Okay, you can sing this with me, the tzitzit paragraph. Do it on Shabbat morning, as you know. Amen. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor Tamen el bnei Yisrael v'marta alehem yatsu lahem tzitzit akan v'egdehem v'doratam v'natnu al tzitzit hakanaf v'til techelet v'yalachem tzitzit Uritem oto, uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai, v'asitem otam v'lo tatu, acharei l'mavechem, v'achareihem, asher atem zonim achareihem, l'ma'al tizkeru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, V'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotziti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, v'yom lachem le'Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem.
Baruch Ato Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Notan Lanu Torah Emes V'Chaye Olam Natav B'Zocheinu. Baruch Ato Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Yamdu Hamagbiya V'Golem. Yamod Reb Peretz, Reb Usher Meyer.
Okay, Shtaka.
V'ilan Giveret, two for one. Tama Giveret Rachel Fega Bat Rivach Hasha V'Yisrael Bal Hagba Balat Lila. As the Torah is lifted, point your pinky or your tzitzit. Yes, you were en route. Yes, you were halfway down 95. Okay. Zot HaTorah Asher Sa Moshe L'Bnei Yisrael Parents would have Usher Meyer, disease. The Elon. Oh, I'm sorry.
Diesel is Irwin's mother.
Yeah.
Right, well, that's good. You are very seasoned. Okay,
She was a very sweet lady.
that's very nice. Okay. We tried changing my mother's name to Elon also from Ethel, but she was never Elon. She was always Ethel. So,
As the cover goes on the Torah, you may be seated. It's F told, yes, there is no Torah. She wasn't. We're gonna yield.
Listen, Ellen used to be, well, high test gas.
Yes,
that's right.
Sounded like- She sounded like high test.
She was, oh my God.
I'm doing this Haftorah this morning to honor Lana's and Renee's father, Bernard Blinder. He was one of the greatest generation. And he really was that kind of man. He served on the USS Missouri during World War II and was in Tokyo Harbor when they signed the treaty with Japan. So he was that kind of man, and two of them still reflect that from him. Okay. Shalach's Haftorah it relates to the Torah portion in terms of the fact that this was the story of Joshua sending 2 spies to Jericho. And his spies were very different than the spies that Moses sent 40 years earlier. Joshua sent 2 spies to the city of Jericho prior to the Israelites' invasion of the Holy Land, a point in common with this week's Torah reading, which discusses the 12 spies that were sent by Moses years earlier to explore the Holy Land. So here we were talking about now again, going back to conquer the same land 40 years later. And again, the new generation. Joshua's 2 spies to Jericho were lodged at an inn located in the city's walls, operated by a woman named Rahab. Their presence was quickly discovered by the king, who sent for Rahab and asked her to turn in her guests. Rahab responded that her guests had already left the city when she actually had hidden them on her rooftop. As she said to the men, "I know that God has given you the land, and that your terror has fallen upon us, and all the inhabitants of the land have melted away because of you. For we have heard how God dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to the 2 kings of the Amorites that were on the other side of the Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom you completely destroyed." At Rahab's request, the 2 spies assured her that she and her family would not be harmed during the conquer of Jericho, provided that she would tie a scarlet thread and hang it from her window. This would be a symbol of that this home is a safe haven. Rahab helped the men escape via a rope lowered from her window and told them how to hide from possible pursuers. The spies escaped safely and returned to report to Joshua. I found this interesting. We're talking about not only spies, but something in real life. I mean, they escaped a rope from the walls hung at the window. That just really tickled my fancy anyway. Okay, the bracha before the Haftorah is on page 146 of at the bottom of the page of the Siddur, if you are interested in following along. Baruch ato Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher bocha b'nivim tovim v'rotzo b'divreihem hane'emorim be'emes. Baruch ato Adonai habocher b'torah u'b'moshe avdo u'b'Yisrael amo u'b'Levieho emet v'tzedek. The Haftorah. Vayishlach Yehoshua ben Nun min hashitim shenayim anoshim baraglim cherev lemor lechu re'u
es haaretz v'es Jericho, vayelchu, vayovo, beis isho zono, ushmo rocho, v'yishkevu shomo, Omar lemelech v'yircho lemor hine anoshim bo'u heino halaylo mibnei Yisrael lachpor es ha'oretz vayishlach melech Yericho El Rechov Lemor, Chotzi, O Anoshim Haboim, Elai, Asher Bo Levesech, Ki, Lachpor Eskol, O Oretz, Bo Vatikach, ho isho es shnei ho anoshim vatitzpe no vatomer kein bo elai ho anoshim velo yodati me'ayin hemo vayhi hashar Lis go bachosher o anoshim yotzu. I'm sorry. Lo yodati o no o anoshim rodfu maher acharehem hi tasigum vehi he'elot sam hagogog vatith me'neim befishtei o eitz o aruchos lo al hagog o hanoshim rodfu acharehem derech hayarden al hamaberos v'hashar sogoru ahare ka'asher yitz'u hor rod fim acharehem Vehemor teren yishkorvun vehi also alehem al hagog vatomer al o hanoshim yodati kinosan Adonai lechom es haaretz v'chinoch lo amas Chem olenu v'chinomogu kol yishvei ha'oretz mipnechem ki shomanu es asher chovish Adonai es meyamsu mipnechem B'tzechem mimitzroim va'asher asitem lishnei malchehu amorim asher be'ever hayarden lisichon ul'og asher haramtem osom Benishma vayimam levavenu velo komo od ruach beish mipnechem ki Adonai Elohechem hu Elohim bashomayim mima'al
ולהאורץ מתוכס ואתו ישובונו לי באדוני כי עשיתי עמכם חסד ועשיתם גם אתם עם בית אבי חסד ונשאתם לי עוז אמס והחייסם אס אבי ויס אמי ויס אחי ויס אח יוסי ואס כל אשר להם והצלתם אס נפשי סנו ממובס ויאמרו לו אנושים נפשנו תחתיכם לא מוס אם לא סגידו אס דבורנו זה והויו בסייס אדוני לנו אס האורץ ויוסינו עמו חסד ואמס ותורידם בחבל בעד החלון כי ביתו בקר החומו ובחומו היא יושבס ותאמר להם אורו לכו פן יפגעו בוכם כרודפים ונחוויתם שומו שלושת יומים עד שוב הרודפים ואחר תלכו לדרככם ויאמרו אל האנשים נקיים אנחנו משבועות זה אשר השפעתנו הנה אנחנו רואים באורץ אס תקווה הוד השני הזה תקשרי בחלון אשר הורדותינו בו ויס אביך ויס אמך ויס אחי ואס ובאס אביך תאספי אלייך הבוסור והויו כל אשר יצא מדלצי ביסי החוצו דומו בראשו ואנחנו נקיים וכל אשר יהיה איתו בבית דומו בראשנו אם יוד תהיה בו ואם תגיד באס דבורנו זה והיינו נקיים משובעות אשר השפעתנו ותאמר כדבריכם כן הוא ותשלהם ולכו ותיק שור אס תקווס השוני בחלון וילכו
Vayovo Oro Vayeshvu Shom Shiloshes Yomim Al Shivu Horothim Vak Shu Horothim Bechol Haderech Velo Motzou Vayoshovu Shnei Ho'anoshim Vayadu Mehor Vayavru Vayovu El Yehoshua ben Nun Vayasafru Lo Eis Kol Hamsos Osom Vayomru El Yehoshua Kinosan Adonai Biodenu Eskol Hooretz Bekam Normogu Kol Shnei Hooretz Miponenu. The blessings after the Haftorah are on page 147 in the Siddur if you want to follow along. Baruch Ato Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol haolamim tzaddik b'kol hadorot bo'er hane'emon bo'omer v'yoseh hamadaber u'mekayem shekol devoro emes v'tzedek ne'emon ato hu Adonai Eloheinu v'ne'emonim divorecho v'divorecho midvorecho Ochol lo yoshuv rekum ki el melech ne'eman v'rachamon hato Baruch ato Adonai bo'er hane'eman b'chol devoro Rachem al Tzion ki hi beis chayenu v'lalu vas nefesh toshia b'mhero b'yomeinu Baruch ato Adonai misamer Tzion b'voneho Samcheinu Adonai Eloheinu B'elu Yohanavi Avdecho Uvamach Beis David Mishimchecho B'mhero Yovo B'yogel Libenu Al Kiso Lo Yeshev Zo V'lo Yichalud Oracharim Et Kivodo Ki V'Shem Kocher Chonesh Bato Lo Shelo Yikbene Ro Liolam Voted Baruch ato Adonai Mogen Dovi Al HaTorah V'Al Havado V'Al HaNavim V'Al Yom HaShabbos Hazeh Shenosato Lonu Adonai Eloheinu L'Kedusho Rahim Locho L'Chavod Ulsifor Eres Al HaKol Adonai Eloheinu Anachnu Modim Lo U'Mevorachim Oso Yisberach Shimcho B'Pi Kochai Tomid Li'olam Vo'ed Baruch ato Adonai Yekadesh Hashem. The whole thing. The whole thing.
Yes.
The whole thing.
It's the way God gave it.
That's right. Thank you.
A prayer for our country. Our God, and God our answer. We ask your blessings for our country, for its government, for its leaders and advisors, and for all who exercise just and rightful authority. Teach them insights from your Torah, that they may administer all affairs of state fairly, that peace and security, happiness and prosperity, justice and freedom may forever abide in our midst. Creator of all flesh, bless all the inhabitants of our country with your spirit. May citizens of all races and creeds forge a common bond in true harmony, to banish hatred and bigotry, and to safeguard the ideals and free institutions that are the pride and glory of our country. May this land, under your providence, be an influence for good throughout the world, uniting all people in peace and freedom, helping them to fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they experience war anymore. And let us say,
Amen.
A prayer for the state of Israel. Avinu Shabbat Shemayim, rock and redeemer of the people Israel. Bless the state of Israel with its promise of redemption. Shield it with your love. Spread over it the shelter of your peace. Guide its leaders and advisors with your light and your truth. Help them with your good counsel. Strengthen the hands of those who defend our holy land. Deliver them. Crown their efforts with triumph. Bless the land with peace and its inhabitants with lasting joy. And let us say,
Amen. Thank you.
See you.
Vibration there.
Get too excited.
Yeah. You can sound it.
All right, we'll resume the davening. We can put aside the Chumashim and pick up on the Sidurim. And page 150, we have Mevorach and Chodesh. Please rise.
Page 150. Tomorrow.
No, keep your notes. Thank you. No,
So the month that we're blessing this Shabbat is Tammuz. Now, as I've said before, we usually don't know what the meaning was of the different months' names, but Tammuz was a nature god. He was sort of like Adonis, and I'm sure that the ladies can talk about the time they dated Adonis. He thought very much of himself, but didn't necessarily pick up the chick. Okay. All right, page 150. Yehi ratzon fanecha Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Shetadesh Aleinu et hachodesh hazeh L'tova v'livracha V'titen lanu Chaim arukim, Chaim shel shalom, Chaim shel tova, Chaim shel biracha, Chaim shel parnasa, Chaim shel chilutz, chilutz atzamot, Chaim sheimalu. Mishalot libeinu l'tova. Amen. Selah. Let's read the second paragraph. No, let's do the first. The first is loaded with brachot. May it be your will together, Adonai our God, God of our ancestors, to reawaken in us joy and blessing in the month ahead.
Grant us a long life, a peaceful life, with goodness and blessing.
Sustenance and physical vitality, a life of reverence and piety, a life free from shame and reproach, a life of abundance and honor, a reverent life guided by the love of Torah, a life in which our worthy aspirations will be fulfilled. Amen. And dear God, please keep a special eye on the brave young men and women of Tzahal, Tzva Haganah Yisrael, the Israel Defense Forces, And please, God, let us go on mechayel el chayil, from strength to strength. Amen.
Amen.
Mishasa nisim lavotenu v'goalotam me'avdut lecherut v'galotanu v'karot v'kabetz nidachenu me'arba kanfot haaretz chaverim kol Yisroel Yisroel Chaverim kol Yisroel no marom. Please respond after me, first with the Hebrew, then the English. Rosh Chodesh Tammuz.
Rosh Chodesh Tammuz.
Yeh b'yom Rishon.
Yeh b'yom Rishon.
Haba aleinu v'al kol Yisroel. Haba aleinu v'al kol Yisroel. L'tova.
L'tova.
And in the English, the new month of Tammuz.
The new month of
Tammuz will begin on Sunday.
Begin on Sunday.
May it hold blessing for us. May it hold blessing for us. All the people Israel, all the people Israel, and the entire world. Amen.
Amen.
Yichadsheyehu HaKadosh Baruch Hu Aleinu ve'al kol amo beit Yisroel. Yichadsheyehu HaKadosh Baruch Hu Aleinu ve'al kol amo beit Yisroel. L'chaim u'lishalom, amen. L'sason u'lisimcha, amen. L'yeshua u'lenechama, v'nomar, amen. Page 181. Ashrei Shvevitzach Odu Maselah. You may be seated for the Ashrei. I will Latanei daber pi v'vorech havas Hashem g'shali olam voed. Anachnu nivorech ya ve'atzar olam. Hallelujah. Page 153. Please rise. Hallelujah, Shem Adonai. He nistav Shemo levado. Shalom. I honor heavenly hour. I see down Livnei Israel on hero. Hallelujah, hallelujah. His harlot David. Avuladam Kaluvaos, Avuladona Yevo Shimo, Ishtahuladona Harakodesh, Kol Adonai Al Hamayim, El HaKavod Hirim, Adonai Al Mayim Rabim, Kol Adonai Kol Ayar Kidem Kimo Egel, Levanon Vesirion Kimo Ben Rehemim, Kol Adonai, Kotzeb Avotesh, Kol Adonai, Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai, Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai, Chol Elayalot, Mayachasok Yarot, Uvehechalo, Kulo Merkavod, Adonai Lamadu, Yamashav, Sheva Damnam, Yom, Beautiful psalm, just for the benefit of our young people. This is the only psalm in which the unicorn is mentioned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines up from the bottom. Then Ra'aim. Ra'aim was considered to be a unicorn. That's one school of thought. Never mind. Let's go on, page 153. Uvenu hayomar. Kilekach tov natati lachem. Torati al tazuvu. Eretz Kedem 155. Yikara, Shemera, Adivrachirute, Viamlich Malchute, Bechaye, Shemer Kodeshabri, Me'ela, Min Kol Birchata, Bishirata, Tumush Bercha, Tandinet, Lama, Sadani, Rakiyama, Bimeru, 156b. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah El Hagadol Hagibor Ve'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasarim Tovim Bekarnei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot Mevi Goel Ibnei B'neihem Leman Shemo B'Yava Melachot Zel Fakir Moshiach Moshe Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Chokei Tzara Atagi Bar Le'olam Adonai V'Chaye Meiti Matorah V'Moshiach V'Chakel Chayi V'Chesed V'Chaye Meiti V'Chanim Rachim Zareh Mokli Yerofeh Haolim Umatir Asurim V'Chanim V'Nacho V'Shem Me'Yacham Baruch atah Adonai Nechaye Amen. Page 157. Na'aritah v'na'tisha Kisotzi al sarvei kodesh Amatishim shimcha kodesh Kamatu al yad yecha V'kol ha'osem zebiyam Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Tzvaot, Malay Olam Givodo, Givodo Malay Olam, Givodo Malay Olam Reishata, Shoalim Zeh Aye Mekom Mekom, Givodo, Liumatam Baruch, Baruch Yomeru,
Homo Ethan Rahamim, Biachonam Yachanim Shemo, Erevok Bahayim Tamim, Halayim Biabal, Shema Omrim, Shema Yisrael, Adonai, Elohim, Adonai, Hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu, Hu Yashmienu, Birachamav, Sheni, 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 Li'echav. V'yot lachem le'Elohim, Adonai Elohim, Divrei Kachva Katuv Lemor, V'hai Tzion, Torah Torah. Torah Nagi Godlecha, Ulenetzach Nitzachim Kedushatcha Nakdish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu, Ipinu Le'Moshli Alam Voed, Ki El Melech Kadosh Kadosh Ata, Baruch Atah Oel HaKadosh. Continuing silently to the conclusion of the Amidah, which is on page 161, and on 158, if you believe in the full restoration of the Holy Temple and the Temple service, including the sacrifices. When Messiah comes, it will be one Messiah. It will not be Son of God sort of Messiah, but we'll get back to that. And the bottom, if you don't believe any of those things, read on page 158 below the bottom.
I'll put the top.
Okay.
You do the top version.
I think this is going in a direction not intended.
Somebody ring?
Yeah.
Oh. Tell my son I called him back. Okay.
If you haven't finished the Amidah, please continue. Otherwise, I'm on page 161 with the Sim Shalom. Sim Shalom, Tova Bracha, Chayim Chesed V'Rachamim Aleinu, V'Al Kol Yisrael Omedecha, Morcheinu Avinu Kulanu Ki Echad, V'Yar Panecha. Kivior panecha natata lanu Adonai Eloheinu Torah Chaim V'yata Chesed U'Tzedakah U'Beracha V'Rachamim V'Chaim V'Shalom V'Yenecha V'Vorech et Amcha Yisrael V'Cholei Echayt v'chosha b'shlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Borech et Amo Yisrael b'shalom. Amen. 181 full Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba. Amen. Yom Adi Barach Hirutei, V'yamliach Malchutei. V'chayechon v'imechon v'chayechon Beit Yisrael Hagalav v'zman karim v'imru Amen V'hei shmei Rabban Yisrael V'yom V'yitara V'orach v'shabach v'poar v'trumah v'taseh V'tadar v'taleh v'talal shmei l'kudusha V'yilam min kol bechata v'shirata Tishbachata v'nachmata Tamid and Yama Yimru Amen. About Slotona Buton the Chayisrael, Kadamagon the Bishmaya Yimru Amen. Yehi Shalom Rabba Min Shemaya, the Chaimalin Valkoyisrael Yimru Amen. Husay Shalom Yimru Amen. Shalom V'yakol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'yakol Yoshvei Tevem, v'yimru, amen. Page 182, our own Esther Cohen will read us the beginning of our meeting.
Ein Eloheinu, Ein Adonai, Ein Kemalenu, Ein Koshienu, Mi Eloheinu, Mi Adonai, Mi Kemalenu, Mi Moshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonai, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonai, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshiach. Atu Eloheinu, Atu Adonai, Atu Malkeinu, Atu Moshiach. Atu Shemtinu, Avoteinu, Lefoninu, Adonai. 23. Shelo asanu k'yei haracho, v'lo shanu shmot adama. Shelo sham chelkeinu kahem, v'goru leinu gilmo hamonam. With name HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shem Noten Shamayim v'Yosed Haaretz, U'Moshe B'Karov B'Shamayim Yimal, U'Shkinatu Tov, U'Shkinatu Tov, V'Gavei Merovi, Timu Eloheinu Eino, V'Malkeinu Efesh Hakata v'Toroto, v'Adonai, v'Adonai, Hashivota Eloheinu, Ki Adonai hu Elohim,
Yeah, I think so. Let's please be seated, and our wonderful president, who works harder than any other president I've ever met.
Always my honor to be your president. It's always my honor to love being here with you on Shabbat, especially. I don't think you know, guys, that you're actually magicians. Because having you here, and you're so great, I had the pleasure of meeting the boys this week. Your presence, which is so delightful, changes things in our little chapel, our Beit Midrash. And it's so wonderful to have you here. Your faces light us up, each and every one of us. So come back anytime. And I wish I could bend down and creeped by the way you did.
We were all impressed with
It was
that.
spectacular. It was really great. So I hope we'll see more and more of you and your grandmas too, who we love dearly. Erwin, thank you for a beautiful Haftorah. Every word of the Haftorah, not easy to do. It really isn't. We so appreciate it. And Lana, you, and to have your sister here. I have one sister also. So I know what that attachment means. That is everything. And you're both so beautiful. Wow. I can only imagine what your mama looked like. So I want to say that something special in the bulletin. I'm sure you saw it on the front. There's a photograph of our member Sherry Field Almar and his parents. And she's the first one, her mom and dad are the first ones who have participated in our Sweet Memories project. So if you take a look at it, our second one is going to be Dina, who has sent in her father's photograph and a few lines, which will go in next week's bulletin. So this project of pure love for those people who you adored in your life and who you want to honor is, I think we're on for a lovely run. So feel free, send in or call in or email. Now you don't have to mail it anymore. Send in the photo that you love. It doesn't have to be for a yurt site. If it is for a yurt site, that's fine. But if you just want to celebrate a late mother or father or anyone that you love, and you have one of these wonderful sepia tone photographs that we all have tucked away someplace, send it in and participate. I think it's just wonderful. Now that it's going to be July this week, so I want to remind everyone of our membership drive. You are the lifeblood of Temple. Beside that, we're all family and are very attached to each other. But you're the lifeblood of our congregation, and your membership means so much. So getting in a little early is okay, and getting in on time is just terrific. So please, and those of you who are at home on Zoom too, we're so happy to have you with us and hope that you can come in person, maybe next Shabbos. But send in your membership. This is, the sweetest shul on the planet. And it's really a treasure to belong to. And in these very, very difficult times, to be part of a Jewish community is very important. I'm going to end quite quickly, but I want you to just to read to you what's been going on behind the scenes. The membership drive, obviously, very good, but we have a very active social committee who has been working on projects for fall and winter. So we're going through the summertime when Joni and I are going to be making preparations for high holidays. And right after that, our programs will begin. Our weekly and monthly get-togethers on Mondays every other week. We're going to be having the Women's Circle meeting, which is absolutely fantastic. I can't say enough about it, where we can all get together and talk about whatever is on our minds. The leader for that is Gail Weisberg, who is the director of the Daniel Cantor Center. It's in professional and very lively hands, and it's absolutely wonderful. So on Mondays, every other Monday is the Women's Circle. Every Monday will be canasta. Thursdays are mahjong. And once a month, our book club, led by our wonderful Grace Weinstein, who gets rave reviews, by the way, on her book club. This is the fall winter schedule. Mark your calendars. It says so right here. November 13th, the holidays are late, so our activities start in November. November 13th, we're doing bingo and brunch. It's a Wednesday, and it's gonna be loads of fun. The Hanukkah party, December 29th, a Sunday. We're having an event called Trash to Treasures. You can bring in whatever you have that you would like to get rid of. Jewelry, tchotchkes, no clothing or anything like that, but it will be our major garage sale and exchange. It's always a lot of fun. On Saturday, February 1st, we're having an event of music, dinner, and dancing called Remember Then. Going to be fabulous. And then on Wednesday, March 5th, play mahjong and munch, because we're munchers. So
When's the blessing of the animals?
I'll let you know. Yeah, Rabbi has to let me know, but that's always on a Sunday.
Right.
So we'll be having the blessing of the animals when you decide. Okay, yeah, Rabbi's gonna consult with his Shih Tzu and then we'll know. So, I assure you we're going to have it and probably a few more, but there's always a lot going on behind the scenes. These schedules are available on the table in the lobby and just come. There's a little sweet table today, cookies, the best cookies. And we're going to alternate in the summertime for one weekend, one Shabbos, a sweet table, the next Shabbos, a lunch, and so on through the summer. So bear with us, stay with us. We're in love with all of you, so, and I hope you're in love with all of us. All right. Good Shabbos.
That's the way to do it.
Thank you, Rita. Questions?
Mourner's Cottage.
Yes, I put Rita before the Mourner's Cottage, not because Mourner's Cottage isn't important, but I thought we needed a little sit down and cheer up.
Okay.
So, all right, the Mourner's Cottage, again, I'll ask you all to please rise on page 184. We say it together because we are expressing solidarity with our people in Israel. Yipkadal, Yipkadal, Shemei Rakah, Amen. Galad, Yivrach, Shemei, Yom Yom the fire of the red cloud, the fire of all Israel. By the Lord is my courage in the way. The day, Rabba, the Barak, the Lord, the Barak, the Shabbat, the Barak, the Tamam, the Naseh, the Tadar, the Taleh, the Talal, Shnei, the Kudishah, the Real. The Kela, the Kover, Fatah, the Shirata, the Fatah, the Nefmata, the Miran Yavah, the Rimane. Hey, Shalom, Rabba, Shemaya. The fire of the Yahweh surround me, Hose, Shalom, Nimrama. Huya, says Shalom. Amen. All right, please remain standing. We have the Kiddush. V'shamar b'nei Yisrael Shabbat lasot Shabbat l'dorot berit olam ve'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti li'olam ish et yomim asadonai et hashmai v'et haaretz v'bayom hashvi Shabbat ve'ilach Savri morna Rabbanan Rabbatai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Amen. Amen. I am the Shalom of Simchas. Cut the challah. Elaine, would you cut the challah? I can do everything else. It has a knife, it has a challah. What more could you do? I'm sure you'll do it great. Do it on the bias. Oh, God. Oh, that is really. I've never seen that. Oh, that's all. Absolutely lovely. All right. I think we should be seated as my beautiful assistants carry away my tools. That didn't sound right. Okay. Please have a seat and we'll come up with a brand new tune, or nearly, or I don't know. Once again, I want to thank our guests in the back, from right to left, Zvi, Tova, and Oren. Oren is the young man with whom I've had and will have the pleasure of meeting, and it should be very good. Do you have any questions now? He says, yes, when do we eat?
Who are the Chadim Sheni, the Amshiro Leha'ira, L'Reshit L'Itzatli, Elohos V'Hamisra, Who Eli V'Chai Gorali, V'Sor Avli V'Etzara, Who Nisi Umanosli, V'Lachkosi V'Yom Nekra, King of Joah, King Rufi, PhD, Shanti, Akira, King Rufin, Gabi, Gati, Adonai, Delo.
Thank you. Please rise, closing benediction. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face to you and grant you good health and welfare. The Lord turn his face unto you, grant you peace. Shabbat shalom. Shalom.